This shiur is dedicated, or the learning is dedicated to our dear friend Mike Singer. Shout out to Mike. Anyway, just the thing is moving, so we gotta be careful. There are many analogies of us, but the Torah talks about it. The man is like a tree, and so on and so forth. And wondering lately about how does it exactly fit? So we spoke about, if you remember, we spoke about the what is it? The Etzion, the date tree, and we said that it gives all its koach, all its nutrients, all its ability to the fruit, and that's why the fruit, even though it could be a nice tree, but it gives all its power to the fruit. So therefore, the fruit will be bountiful and sweet. Today I want to talk to you about something else. You want to put it here? You can put it here. Today I want to talk to you about something else. Today I want to talk to you about olive tree. Regarding olive tree, it's first of all, I just want to tell you, this is really something that in a way could help us relate to our children, relate to our to the way we educate the children, could relate to our students, Talmidim, and could relate to you as well, because if you say, we say like this, so on what the olive tree, we say that your sons should be like olive trees planted around your table. Banecha kishtile zeitim netuim saviv l'shulchanecha. They should be around your table like that. Now we know the Talmidim kurim banim. Students, your Talmidim called children. And we know also the banim atem lamakom, we also children of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, so that applies to us as well. I think olive trees are maybe one of the most fascinating trees out there. Fascinating. Of course, besides being the sign of peace, there's a lot more to learn. There are olive trees in the Mediterranean area, in Israel, that are 1,500 to 2,000 years old. And it's amazing, how can a tree last for so long? The branches of the trees, since are very strong, were used for, in a very uncontrolled way, many times for building, making fire, and so on and so forth. And yet those trees make it. There are storms, there were plenty storms, and those olive trees are never uprooted in a storm. And how is this possible? And what could we learn from that your children should be like olive trees planted around your table? So let's look at an olive tree. Interesting about olive trees, the roots. Let's start with the roots. They don't go deep. First, they go wide. They're not invasive, and they don't cause damage like regular olive trees, but they grow wide. Before they go deep. First, they grow sideways, then deep. Do we do the same thing when we teach our children or when we teach our students in Yeshiva? Right away, we dwell deep into very deep sugiyot, very deep arguments in the Gemara. This one is holding, the other one is holding, this one is doing that. I mean, stuff that really belongs in law school level rather than, beginning Gemara. We acquire the students with immediate depth without enough building material. And, we see it today. There's no broad knowledge. And slowly, we get people who know very little about many things, and they're just able to take something and drill it all the way down. But in terms of depth, to be able to see things, they can't. So sometimes, guess what? You would drill in the wrong place. So we need to our children, first of all, give them as great a variety as we can. Let them know about many different things. It would increase their knowledge, will give them enough building blocks to build a building. In Spain, I think one of the reasons that the Jews in Spain, or Spanish Jewry, was so great is because they're allowed that wandering and acquiring knowledge from other places. There were poets and doctors and philosophers and so on and so forth. Yet they were very proud Jews and extremely knowledgeable, and the Torah was unprecedented in terms of the capacity of what they created there. The Hebrew was phenomenal. They spoke better Hebrew than Israelis speak today Hebrew. It's crazy. Look at the Hebrew of the Rashbam or the Rambam. It's fantastic. Rabbi Yehuda Levi, all these people, the Hebrew is fantastic, better than Israelis. Another wonderful thing about olive tree is that the trunks go sideways. They grow this way. Now, it's very common to have a tree that the inside of it is hollow, but the nutrients go like that. In other words, you need to create space within yourself to grow. Because if you're going to be a very solid thing, one wind is going to break you as well. So because the roots are shallow, are wide and then deep, wide and then deep, because the trunk is hollow inside many times, yet gives a lot of nutrients, it's able to sustain tremendous abuse through literally thousands of years, or say even hundreds of years, without breaking. We need to acquire that understanding and apply it to our children, to apply it to our students, and to apply it to ourselves. We need to create space within ourselves. That hollowness means space within ourselves. The strength of the olive tree comes from the fact that it is hollow inside. It might be weird, because other trees would fall, but olive trees won't. Is there space within yourself? There's a space which everything is being created from that space. If not, you're going to fail. The fruit of the olives is bitter, and yet, if you handle it appropriately, you put pure water inside, 3 days, takes away the bitterness. You can squeeze it for oil, and then it's tremendous oil. I think there's a certain amount of olives that you eat, the substitute amount of, I forgot, protein or whatever it is, nutrients that you get. It's amazing. I think 7 or 11 olives or something like that. So what does it tell you? It tells you that sometimes you will have offsprings, children or talmidim, that are going to be bitter. They're not going to be so pleasant, and don't toss them out, because really inside of them, if you know how to handle it, give them pure water, wash them again, and change the water, and wash again with pure water. Then you can consume it. Then they can become good. It's something that can give you nutrients. That you could produce oil for food. You could produce oil for light. Yes, from these bitter things. In other words, don't give up on your students. Don't give up on your children, even those who are bitter, not the apples, the olives. There's tremendous wisdom in that. You just need to look around. Inside the trunk of the olive tree, there are those nodules that when there is stress, this is a hit to the trunk where another tree would die. Those nodules get into effect, and they start operating, then brings livelihood, and then all of a sudden the tree grows. Develop inner strength within your students, develop inner strength within your talmidim, develop inner strength within yourself, that if something hits you, you find a spot inside of you that has livelihood, and you start the process of living again from that spot. That's why olive trees could stand for 1,500 years. It's no wonder that sometimes you see a tree that is completely hollow and still it gives, green leaves and fruits, and it's amazing. It's the strength of the olive tree. And we need to apply it to ourselves, to our students, and our talmidim. And that's the key also for peace. The olive tree represents peace. Because once you get this thing, and you're able to, first of all, as I told you yesterday, reach a peaceful place within yourself. You need to be in peace with yourself. I didn't say content with yourself. You should always strive for more. You should never be satisfied with what you have. I'm not talking about possessions, about your achievements. I told you this yesterday. Make a list of all the things you succeeded. I really mean that. All the things you succeeded. Make a list of all the things you're good at. Make a list of all the things you achieved. Now make a list of all the things you're not good at. Make a list of all the things you failed. Make a list of all the things that you wanted and you did not achieve. Put them one in front of the other. And now you'll see. There's a whole bunch of things that you achieve. So in other words, you are capable of achieving that. Don't choose the convenient way of telling yourself the lazy way. Laziness is horrific. That you tell yourself, well, listen, I'm no good, so therefore not. You achieve a lot of stuff. You are capable of doing a lot of things. You're good at many things. Now take all the other list and then go one by one. The things that are not comfortable for you should be your daily routine. You like to sleep late, to get up at like 8, 9 o'clock in the morning, which I don't know why would anybody do that, but let's say you are. Good. From now on you're going to get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, 5 o'clock in the morning. Go out for a run. If you get up at 4 o'clock in the morning, go to sleep at 11. Go to sleep at 11. Let's say how many hours? 11 to 12, 12 to 1, 1 to 2, 2 to 3, 3 to 4, 5 hours. Okay, I'll give you another hour, 6 hours. Get up at 5. Go to sleep at 11, get up at 5. Get up at 5, go exercising. I mean, you're all fat, unhealthy. Go for a run. Go run 3 miles in the morning. Any weather. If it's hot, if it's cold, get up in the morning and run. Go run. Don't feel bad about yourself. Feel bad about yourself. It's worse than cancer. Looking for comfort is worse than cancer. Get up in the morning, go run. Go run for an hour. To run 3 miles in an hour, that's very, very slow. That's walking, basically. Go run for half hour. Do 3 miles in half an hour. Okay, I'll give you that. Do a mile in 12 minutes. How about that? So 36 minutes you run. That's very slow. I mean, I'm not proud of that. I used to do a mile in 9.5 minutes. I'm not proud of that. Should have done better. 9.5 minutes. So do it in 12 minutes. Do it in 15 minutes. I mean, that's walking, basically. Get up. Go to run. First thing in the morning, go to run. Come home. Take a shower. Go daven. You still have time. You're still ahead of the time. Because by the time you daven and you run and you took a shower, you're still in dream number 7, in the morning. So now you have free time. Not a problem. Take a daf yomi. Take a mishnah yomi. Sit down and learn for an hour. You're already ahead of everybody else. If you're going to learn a daf a day, extra to what you're doing, at the end of the year, you're 365 pages ahead of your friend that slept until 8 o'clock or 9 o'clock. That's about a quarter of the Talmud. Well, not a quarter, okay, whatever. Let's say, I don't know, 15% of the Talmud. It's crazy. That's beside the other learning you're doing. And you spending it on sleeping? You don't want to achieve. It's comfortable for you. But that's the worst thing for you. Worst thing for you. You like to eat a lot. Change your thing. You know what? Don't eat until you're done, until davening. Get up in the morning, eat a banana. You're good to go. There's a lot of potassium in it. It's good for you. Everything that is uncomfortable should be your daily routine. Become knowledgeable in many aspects. Not only one, in many aspects. The variety will give you strength. As much as you don't just do leg exercises all the time, it's good to combine things. You do push-ups, you do pull-ups, you do cardio, you do legs. They become healthy. you have all the answers. You just need to hear them. As much as you would seek balance in everything else, you don't, for example, imagine what will happen if a person would just learn math from first grade until PhD, only math. He's going to maybe be good in math, but ultimately he's going to be a very shallow human being because all he knows is math. You need to know a lot of things. You need to read and to write and so on and so forth. Your strength in your variety. Your strength would be to find the spot of weakness or when things are hard, and then you take this hardness and you make it into a growth spurt. When your bark is being damaged, from that damage you generate life, because that's what happens to the tree. Olive trees grow this way. From that place of injury, the tree develops its nodules, that growth comes. Learn from it. Give yourself knowledge. Give yourself a chance to have a better life. A better life does not mean to have a Mercedes and a villa with a jacuzzi and to go to Cancun and to eat all you can eat, and so that's for people who don't want to deal with anything. That's for weak people. You're going to be strong. You need to do so you could give your children an example of how things should be, so they can have a better chance in life. But when you fail in life, you don't have any chance for it to give your children. I don't know why you're having children to begin with. To continue that cycle of misery and being a loser? No. About things you would like to achieve. After you turn your weaknesses into your daily routine, and you find strength from your weaknesses, from your difficulties, and what let's say, for example, you are afraid of speaking in public. Now, from now on, you're going to become the best public speaker out there, or the best you could be. You're going to seek standing in front of people. I remember I told you the story about Schwarzenegger, right? He used to have, big body and very, very small calves, very skinny legs. So he was embarrassed. So instead of covering his legs with big baggy pants, he made sure he cut his pants, he went with shorts, and he worked on his leg until he got those massive legs. Take your weakness, identify your weakness, and turn it into your strength. So if you're afraid of speaking in public, you're going to find every possible chance and create situations that you could speak in public. Whether it's 10 people, or 100 people, or 1,000 people. Whatever you're weak at, that's what you're going to do. I had a horrible teacher in math. Horrible teacher. She hated me. I was too dark-skinned for her. She hated me in elementary school. And that misery continued all the way to high school. Until I said, no, that's not going to be. That's not going to be. I taught myself math, and I was doing algebra as much as you guys do puzzles. I would do algebra. I would sit down at home. I took my sister's books. I took everybody's book. I was just doing algebra equations for fun. Geometry, everything. At the end, I end up with average of 100 in both in physics and math. For crying out loud, I was a failure in English because I had a horrible teacher. And guess what? I got my master's degree in an American university. I speak English all day long. You take your weakness, you identify it, and you deal with it. You find strength in it. Even if it's bitter quality inside of you. Inside that bitter quality there is oil, there are nutrients. You just need to know how to do it. You need to have patience. Now going back to the word of peace, you need to achieve peace with yourself. Peace with yourself means that you are not hiding or fighting everything against yourself to subdue things, to push things down. You're in peace. I am who I am. That's what it is. And I'm going to do something about it. When you're going to have peace with yourself, you're going to have peace with your wife. You're going to have peace with your husband. You're going to have peace with the world. And that's what נאמר, תלמידי חכמים מביאים שלום לעולם. You cannot be a Talmid Chacham if you don't become or acquire the qualities of an olive tree. That's what Talmid Chacham is all about. Have a beautiful day.